Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Ian Kuiper. Today's guest is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt who trains at 10th Planet Portland, the FCFF Featherweight champion, and the Submission Underground champion, women's champion, Amanda Loewen. Welcome back. What's up, Amanda?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I just want to say thank you again for coming on. It's awesome to be able to get to talk to you. You're one of our honestly, me and J May's heroes. And we're so proud every time we get to see you go out and compete. And just wanted to quickly tell you,
thank you so
we
much.
appreciate you a lot.
Thank you.
So now I got to go right away into like a little bit of a touchy subject, but I kind of want to put something kind of to bed and get it out there. You left Straight Blast Gym a while ago and recently went to 10th Planet, and I kind of wanted to just get your thoughts on leaving.
Yeah, I was at Straight Blast Gym for about 10 years. That was like the first and only jiu-jitsu place that I had trained at and coached at. And I'll say that I still love and appreciate so many people from there, and I'll never forget where I came from and how I came up, because again, I do appreciate some of the coaches in that organization. But for me, without getting into too much detail, it was definitely kind of being in a toxic relationship. And once I had kind of come into 10th Planet, and I have known Coach Phil and Coach Sam and those guys for a long time, because they've just been a part of the jiu-jitsu community for forever. Going there, it felt like the biggest relief. And I asked myself, I'm why didn't I do this sooner? It's you're in this relationship, and it's just all about that loyalty, and it's part of my jiu-jitsu is staying comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I feel like I had taken that into my personal life as well. And so it's you just you learn to deal with it. You just learn to kind of manage it. So yeah, as a big relief for me, being able to be at 10th Planet and be accepted there and have people that love and care and support me. So yeah.
Was there any other gyms that kind of wanted you to come on board? Was it an easy choice to go to 10th Planet?
It was an easy choice, and it was a tough choice at the same time. I mean, there was multiple, I didn't realize how many gyms had wanted to reach out. But my other choice was Hensel Gracie with Professor Aaron. One of the biggest reasons why I didn't transplant over there was because I respect Hannah and Eddie so much, and she had already, she was doing what I'm trying to do as well, and she had already built up this amazing women's program and was coaching classes, and so I didn't want to kind of come in there and step on any toes. Because I still I appreciate them so much. They opened their doors and they would allow me to come and train there as well. So yeah, but 10th Planet has just been, man, I love that gym so much. It feels so good. Yeah.
It's definitely a fun place to train.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no surprise that once you went there, you kind of hit this upswing.
It was really weird. I feel especially the last couple years I had been at SBG, it was, I don't know, things were really dry. I feel I didn't really have a coach, it was just coaching myself. My last MMA fight was incredibly challenging, not necessarily physically, but more so emotionally and mentally, just draining. So coming to 10th Planet and having coaches again and people that were invested in making me better and pushing me beyond what I thought my potential was is huge. And then I got offers for more Submission Underground stuff, and then other super fights, which was scary and exciting at the same time. So
yeah. So I'm glad you brought it up, because I want to talk to you about becoming the Submission Underground women's champ. How did that make you feel when you won that night?
Honestly, it was neat. but I know I can do better. Like, I know I can perform better. I still get very nervous, like, every time I compete, and I still have, like, doubts about, I don't know, like, being good at jiu-jitsu. So I'm really trying to, like, believe in my jiu-jitsu. I've been training for, like, 11 years now, and, like, I don't plan on stopping. But, like, I like, have this vision in my head of, like, the perfect performance. And so I know, like, pulling close guard all the time is, like, not the most exciting thing. And I think it was the match against Jillian, but it's like I pulled close guard and I, like, just hung out there. But sometimes, like, my brain, it's like I think so much, like, it was just like, my coach was like, you just need to do anything, like, just do anything. Then I was like, oh yeah, like, just do anything. Like, that's really good advice. So, like, yeah, the next time against Felicia Spencer, I was like, oh yeah, I just need to, like, do anything and it'll be okay. Yeah, just believe in my jiu-jitsu. So it felt a lot better, but, like, I know I can do even better, you know?
Yeah. I want to talk about you've competed at Submission Underground with fans, and you've competed at Submission Underground without fans. I kind of want to know, like, take me into kind of detail about what it's like to fight with no fans, no coaches, just you, the other person, and the referee.
I personally like the no fans. I know people are still watching, like, online and on TV and stuff, but I like how quiet it is. But I do miss having a coach, like, yelling at me or just being there, like, telling me the time, because 5 minutes goes by really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like not having fans, and I like how simple it is, and it's just like you just hear, like, the clanking of the mat and the cage and stuff, and the ref.
Is it a different feeling almost?
I still get really, I still have nerves, and I still like, want to perform well, but I feel like there's not as much of an expectation because there's not physical people in the room watching me. I don't know.
No, that
Yeah.
totally makes sense. Yeah. It just seems so interesting, just because you've always just, it's always been fans.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have to kind of do something alone seems so much harder to me for some reason.
Yeah, but I know that, like, behind those doors, or as soon as I walk out, like, a lot of my teammates are there, and, like, my coaches are going to be there. So, yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
So Sunday, March 28th, Submission Underground, you face Roxanne Metafari.
Yes.
I kind of want to get your thoughts going into this matchup with Roxy.
I don't know much about her other than she's a great MMA fighter, and she seems like, I don't know, a great human being. I don't generally prepare my jiu-jitsu for my opponent. Like, I just continue training super hard and focus on what I'm going to do. Because if I constantly focus on, like, what they're good at, then it's, I don't know, it's kind of like a mental, you're kind of screwing yourself mentally, you know?
How do you see this playing out? Like, in your head, have you had any, like,
in my head,
visualizations of something?
I mean, if I pull guard, I pull guard. If she wants to pull guard, that's fine. I'll, like, work my passing. If I get taken down, I feel at this point in jiu-jitsu, I feel very comfortable everywhere. You honestly have to kill me to put me out. You got to pry my dead, cold arms away from my body if you want them. And if you want to, like, choke me, you're going to have to get underneath my neck, and you got to get to a good position anyway. Like, if I'm good at anything in jiu-jitsu, it's like my survival skills are, like, legit.
Wow. I'm loving that. I'm excited. I think it's like I said, it's fun to see you compete whenever. So
Thank you.
It should be a fun matchup.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah, she was scheduled a few sugs ago, but I think she had, like, a fight that had come up, which is really neat, and then she's had, like, maybe one or two other jiu-jitsu matches. But like I said, I appreciate these UFC fighters who, like, do that for a living, come into, like, jiu-jitsu and do a jiu-jitsu match. Like, I really appreciate the time that they spend.
I want someone to like talk some crap to you. Like I want like a grudge match or something.
I don't know. I don't really have any grudge matches. Like
I know. You're like too nice. They're like, nah, she's too nice. I'm not gonna say that.
No, I mean, if people, I'm sure people out there, like, people make fun of my fucking bangs all the time, which fuck you guys, by the way. They're my bangs.
And they're cute.
Oh, thanks. But I don't know. Like, if people want to talk shit, then they can talk shit. That's like their thing. But I don't have like any shit to talk because to me, it's not necessary.
Dude, the bangs are like your thing.
I swear
if you ever got rid of your bangs, I'd be like,
I would
what?
absolutely not get rid of them because my forehead is too big, first of all. Second of all, I've literally had bangs since I was a child, like multiple bowl cuts. You can ask my mother. I look the same. I'm just like taller and a little bit chubbier now that I've gotten older. Yeah.
Okay, so if no one's gonna say anything, who do you wanna like? Is there someone out? I know, like, I'm not saying look past Roxanne, but is there like a match out there that intrigues you at all?
No. I don't know. I'll fight anyone.
Anybody can get it.
Anytime. I mean, I think that's the cool thing about competition is that, like, I don't know, you're like putting yourself out there. You're putting everything on the line. And I've lost like a million matches. And I understand at this point, it's like my worth and like my jiu-jitsu is not determined from like one single match or a couple of matches, you know? So I'm just like very appreciative to be able to like be on the card and fight. And again, go up against like these very like big UFC fighters who are taking the time out of their schedules to, you know, come to Oregon.
What is the expectation of you as the women's champion? Are you expected to defend it every card?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure. There is talk of an all-women's card possibly coming up in the future. So I'm sure we'll have something, you know, something new in the next few months or so. Heather and Chael, I feel like, are always trying to like revamp things and keep things new and fresh and exciting for the fans. So I'm sure, yeah, they'll put something together. There's so many good women grapplers and you know, UFC fighters that also have really good grappling skills and not just striking skills that I'm sure like would appreciate being on the card as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, long story short, I don't have anyone specifically that I'm looking to fight or grapple with.
I actually want to touch on something you said about the innovation. And I know it's not innovative, but they're putting the tag team jiu-jitsu back on the card. And just a quick take, kind of how you feel about the tag team jiu-jitsu.
I did a tag team match one time, and I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, it's like, you know, a little mini team that you have. And I feel like it takes some of the pressure off of you because like you're out there with a teammate. And I think it's just, I don't know, it's exciting and it's going to be like super fast paced and yeah. So I think the fans are going to enjoy watching that.
You think so? Did you see the guy who's fighting in it is like a mini Craig Jones or something?
He definitely doesn't look like Craig Jones.
No, not at all. Well,
no.
He just besides the rash guard.
I mean, yeah.
Or the shorts. He had like the leopard shorts.
He wore the shorts,
yeah.
But yeah, other than that, there's only one Craig Jones.
Budget Craig, that's budget Craig Jones.
That's green screen. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, let's take it somewhere else now. Sorry, we have the power of editing. Recently on Instagram, you've been going to Bend a lot and doing seminars and stuff, and you've been one of my new Instagram friends now too, Almeen Barton.
Yeah.
Really cool lady. Talk to me about, first of all, how you guys met, and then the second question, kind of like when did you guys come up with the deal to kind of bring you out to her place?
Yeah, so it's kind of a wild story. So at the beginning of quarantine, like when I had left SBG, she had moved from Bend to Portland initially, and she had also signed up at 10th Planet. I guess for the longest time, she was like very like scared of me. Like she didn't want to talk to me, nothing, because I'm straight edge and I had like all these tattoos. And I guess she had gotten like jumped when she, I believe, like lived in New York by like some straight edge gang. And so she had just associated that with like me being straight edge and just like being really, I don't know, rude and mean. But then someone had recommended that like I watch her dogs or I walk her dogs. And so she was like, I guess I'll give her a chance. Like come over, and she's like, oh, you're actually really nice. But like I put all of those fears and stuff, you know, initially like on you. And she's like, you're actually like a decent human. I'm like, yeah, sometimes. Yeah. So we like hit it off, and coincidentally, like we had both started training at this new place. Because Portland is so interesting with the rules and the super deadly virus that we're all part of. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm ruining it. I know, Jamie. I'm sorry. With the virus being what it is, we couldn't really train as much. So she started doing like one-on-one lessons because the group, you know, classes and stuff had kind of, you know, we weren't able to hold those anymore. And then she does acupuncture for a living, and she just wasn't able to continue her clinic here, and she found it best to move back to Bend, which is crazy. It's like, I feel like a lot of people have exited Portland for, you know, those reasons, and also Portland is kind of a wild place to be in right now. We're going to be the last ones to like open back up, guarantee it. But with that being said, so she's in Bend, and she had made the suggestion that like maybe I come out once a month and do some privates with her, but also maybe like book some other sessions with other people. Unfortunately, the gyms over there are still closed as well, or like very limited capacity. So it's just easier. She has mats at her house, and so I just book things and we do some sessions there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What a cool story.
She's like one of the most like nicest, genuine people. You know, like you come across people and you're just like, why are you so nice? Like, is this like you're faking it kind of thing? Like what? But she's a legit she's a legit one. Yeah. And she works so hard. Like she's goals. She's 45, and dude, I'm like on her story sometimes like, dude, this bitch is on an assault bike in the sauna. Like what? Like I gotta step up my game, you know?
Oh, but yeah. Quarantine got me for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I think it snatched a lot of us. Yeah.
UFC 259 was last Saturday, and Amanda Nunes took on Megan Anderson, and it was, complete abomination. Doesn't even begin to describe it. It was about the easiest day of work I've seen in a while. I'm just kind of interested in your take on Amanda Nunes.
Dude, Amanda Nunes is, everyone says it. She's the GOAT. You know, she's works so hard, and then it just like is easy work. And I feel like I'm sure she probably has like her own challenges in the gym, but it's like you have those challenges in the gym so that like when you go and compete, like you just run through everyone. You know, it's like that's your easy work for the night kind of thing. So yeah, that rear triangle, that beautiful armbar setup, everything. It was just, it was beautiful.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy.
None can compare.
I think that I heard they're shutting down 45. That's a rumor they have going on, that they're just going to shut down because who's next at 45 for Amanda? There's kind of not anybody. The only person, and we can't even talk about her because she's not in the UFC, but Kayla Harrison is maybe the only person who has a chance.
Yeah.
I can't name any other big 45 girl that can even, and I don't even know if Kayla can, you know?
Yeah. Matchups in jiu-jitsu are interesting, but obviously like stand-up too. But Amanda is so well-rounded that like I don't really know what her holes are.
She hurt her on the feet and then finished her on the ground.
Yeah.
Like what else can you do?
Yeah.
Okay, put your prediction hat on. Going back to Submission Underground, again, March 28th on Fight Pass. Main event, you are the co-main event. The main event is going to be Richie Martinez versus Mason Fowler. What do you think?
I'm biased because I love Boogie. Like, he's such a good coach, and his jiu-jitsu is so rad. But I think what will happen is that they'll go through regulation, and then Richie will get him an OT.
You're saying and new.
And new. Yeah.
That match I'm having a hard time with.
They're both. I mean, Mason's not a slacker. I'm not saying anything, against Mason, but I think that like Richie is so like dynamic and can bring some new stuff to the table that maybe Mason hasn't dealt with yet.
It's hard to. Mason's got he either is going to take you to overtime or against Ishii, he fought him. He put him in he's got like a signature omoplata that he does.
Yeah, but Richie is good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He's not just like a wrestler. Oh, did I say something bad?
You heard it here if you made it this far. Okay, last question. I actually want to ask you about the team tournaments that you did recently, the Submission on the Shore. I kind of want to get your take on what you think of the team tournament. I think it's kind of a cool thing that they do.
I think it's it was definitely a cool thing. So I was on a team with two other teammates from 10 Planet, one from Albuquerque, New Mexico, I believe, Santa Fe, and then Bree, who is from 10 Planet San Diego. Jen was the other one. But we were on a team together at the San Diego one with Pearl Gonzalez and Jen Dietrich, and we ended up coming out on top on that, which was really neat. But this one, there was a lot more teams, and it was just the three of us. There were supposed to be 16 teams total, but 2 teams had dropped out, so they ended up doing some weird second chance thing to where, like, if one team had lost, they could put their names back in a hat and then have a second chance at coming back that first round. Yeah, I don't know, the rules to that were a little bit interesting, but we ended up going through our first round and winning that, and then the second round, the matchups were a little bit more interesting.
So is there a big difference between the five women and the 3 women?
Only in the sense that there were less teams for the 5 women bracket versus like the 3. But yeah, it's just styles are interesting, and I don't know, it kind of is a good representation of jiu-jitsu,
right?
Because in jiu-jitsu, like, you can't get better without a team.
Okay, last thing before we get you out of here.
Yeah.
Give us a message for all the Amanda Loewen fans out there.
Thanks for the support. I don't know what to say. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram if you want. Sometimes I post things, mostly of my dog. And that's, yeah.
Hey, and if you're going to follow her, you might as well follow us as well.
Absolutely.
At Dojo Outfitters. You know what's up. Thanks for watching. Amanda, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ian.
Peace.
Bye.
I wish we actually kept these though.
But we're good. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Action!